Need Pokemon Go PvP coaching? Well, I'm on Metafy, so click the link in the video description. It'll take you right to my page. What's up, guys? Got another Element Cup team. This time, it's legal. You guys can play this team if you want. No evolved Pokemon, no abusing the broken system. We just have a very strong core, and honestly, a very fun team to play too. Chinchou, and Cottonee are both Pokemon that are just fantastic in all these little cup that they're allowed in. And Exeggcute, honestly, pretty cheap to build up, and a pretty good Pokemon too. It's just got a good moveset. What can I say? Either way, this team is a lot of fun at Element Cup. It's got a very straightforward playstyle. We are running ABB. Let's take a look at the movesets. Chinchou has Spark, Bubble Beam, Thunderbolt, same as last time. Exeggcute with the Confusion, Seed Bomb, and Ancient Power, and then Cottonee with Charm and 2 grass moves. And honestly, you probably don't need a second move for it. It's kind of nice to have, but it's definitely not that big of a deal. Essentially, the playstyle here is you run into a grass type in the lead, swap out. You run into a fire type, you stay in. You run into a water type, Ducklett, you can stay in. If it's anything else, you wait for them to swap out, because your entire team does kind of beat those water types. And the good thing about the backline here is they're both grass types that also beat other grass types. And that's the important part, because they both have moves that aren't grass moves. So something like a Chikorita is dealing resisted damage with Vine Whip against all these grass Pokemon. Same with Bulbasaur. Whereas Exeggcute and Cottonee are just powering through these grass Pokemon with Confusion and Charm, respectively. And for, I think, every single lead that's bad that you swap out of, swap to Exeggcute. The only one I can think of that you would swap into Cottonee is if you see a Bulbasaur lead. Or Poison Grass lead, so like an Oddish lead or something like that. Now, let's get into the games. Ducklett lead, by far the most common lead, you'll see. They go into the Chikorita, and you can go to Exeggcute here, but I like to go into Cottonee. This matchup is just very smooth. I think this might be the first time I'm playing it out here, so I don't know if I play it correctly. What I like to do here is throw a Body Slam. Seed Bomb, I mean. Once this Chikorita gets a little bit low. So you cannot charm all the way down. You will need to spend a shield if that's the case. And yeah, see, this is, I'm kind of showing you what it's like if you try and charm all the way down. You have to spend a shield here. Then the Ducklett's going to absorb the energy, be able to farm you down. Then your Chinchou is in trouble. So it's just rough all around. So yeah, I'm going to throw the Grass Knot here. Always throw the Grass Knot if you can get to it. It does so much more damage than Seed Bomb. And yeah, no shield. Ducklett doesn't shield, and now they have 2 shields for their backline Pokemon. So if their backline Pokemon can beat my team in 2 shields, then I'm gonna lose. So I make another mistake here. This is my first game with the team, right? First set with the team. What I really need to do, first of all, is throw Seed Bomb, but more importantly is stay in with the Chinchou and throw a Bubble Beam first to reduce the charm damage, so that Exeggcute can hopefully get off 2 moves. I'm not 100% sure that will happen, but because I haven't got to try it out, but it might, and it's definitely a better play than just swapping out right away to Exeggcute. That's definitely not a good strategy. Either way, definitely lost this one. That's okay. You'll lose some every time, even with the good back line or the good lead. Just the Cottonee in the back is quite rough for this team, especially if they drew out your Cottonee first. So they're running ABB as well. Their ABB team outplayed my ABB team. Alright, now we have a Shadow Slowpoke lead. I like to stay in here a little bit. Usually they swap out. In this case, not the case. So I'll throw Thunderbolt. You get to Thunderbolt faster than they get to their moves. So it's fine to trade here. Then I like to throw 2 more Sparks and try and catch a move on Exeggcute. In this case, they just let it go. So I'm going to swap out. And actually, they bring in a Vulpix. I swapped my Exeggcute into Vulpix, and they swapped immediately afterwards too. So this works out. Versus Ducklett, I would not recommend throwing Ancient Power, usually. I'd recommend throwing double Seed Bomb. So Ancient Power and Seed Bomb, you both get to at 4 Confusions, but the second Seed Bomb is only 3 if you throw Seed Bomb first. So that's very important, and you don't have to remember that now. There's going to be plenty of examples. This is very important. Plenty of examples of Ducklett swapping into Exeggcute. It's a very common switch, and I'll show you exactly what that's like. So either way, we do have a Vulpix at the end. It's an Ember Vulpix, which means Chinchou is doing pretty good here. And just trying to get some Bubble Beams off on this thing. I decided to shield to try and debuff it a little bit more. Because at this point, You prioritize debuffs when your opposing Pokemon is the last one. If your opponent doesn't have more than one Pokemon, they can't swap to clear this debuff. And you're going to see that these Embers, and maybe even Weather Ball Fire, it's not going to hit the Cottonee very hard. Either way, yeah, going to get the third Bubble Beam off. It's going to tickle at this point. This Cottonee is just going to laugh this off as we swap in. Yeah, look how much damage those Embers are doing. Does that look super effective to you? The Charms look more super effective to me. And then this will be a Weather Ball Fire. Yeah, like 25%. Oh. Nothing to worry about. This is the one use where I think Bubble Beam is actually pretty useful, is Little Cup. In 500 CP, it actually does a sizable chunk of damage, and you're still getting that debuff off. Alright, next game. Ducklett lead. This is what you love to see. We'll see what they swap into. In comes Lotad. I pause for a little bit because I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing here. But I go into the Cottonee. I don't think Lotad has any moves that are not very effective, right, that are regular effectiveness versus Cottonee. They're just all resisted. I think you will see an energy ball come out here. Yeah, it deals like a decent amount of damage, but you can still just charm this guy all the way down. And you have a move to throw whatever comes back in. So this is a fantastic situation to be in. It's definitely not over by any means. If they have a Cottonee in the back, it's still very, very tough because I had to use my Cottonee to take care of their Cottonee. In the Lotad switch in case, I probably should have went into the Exeggcute just because my Cottonee can better deal with their Cottonee. And it is a Bulbasaur, unfortunately. I expected a Cottonee, so I throw the Bubble Beam. But honestly, I'm shielding anything from this Bulbasaur. Anyways, the Thunderbolt would have been better. And yeah, Exeggcute versus Bulbasaur is a fantastic matchup. That's why if you see a Bulbasaur in the lead, swap into the Cottonee, so you're not swapping in your best Pokemon there. One shield is enough. You can farm all the way down, and you can almost certainly grab a shield back with Exeggcute against whatever else comes in. Next game. You can catch another Ducklett in the lead. It is... Oh man, I didn't even know that. Okay. So yet again, another Ducklett in the lead. I feel like over half the leads so far have been Duckletts. It's just a combination of it being the best Pokemon in the cup and the fact that it has Brave Bird and can Brave Bird and dip. They actually go for the Bubble Beam and dip, which is not the play. They didn't even build up, so I didn't have to shield. Chinchou comes in. I probably did not need to throw my Thunderbolt there, but this allows me to farm down with Exeggcute and still be relatively healthy on the way out. Of course, a Bubble Beam doesn't really hurt. Ducklett will come back in and be able to farm this Exeggcute quite a bit. I do throw Ancient Power here, I think. Oh no, I go for the Seed Bomb, just cheaper. And Ancient Power is a very weak move. You're kind of just preying on the boost. Now, the second Seed Bomb will be more than enough to take this Ducklett out if they let it go. And if they do, then I've got 3 Pokemon and 2 shields versus 1 Pokemon. If they don't, then they've essentially just traded shields here. I don't mind coming in with Chinchou. Grab a little bit of energy, take out the Ducklett. Do I shield this? I think about shielding it, but they actually go for the bait again, so it might be a single moved one. And in this case, you can see I'm actually deploying the strategy of debuffing the Cottonee before I swap out. And this is especially powerful because I have my own Cottonee this time instead of Exeggcute. You can see my charms are doing much more. It looks like almost double the damage of their charms. And you know what? I probably don't even need to shield here. But I do. Just because I'm scared of throwing the game a little bit. But debuffed, that Seed Bomb is going to do almost nothing. Yeah, the team has been pretty successful. That's 4 wins in the first set with it. Yeah, it feels strong. The ABB works out. There's not a lot that comes into Exeggcute that wouldn't want to come into Cottonee. Maybe Seal. But that would be it. Anyways, Cottonee lead. We're going to go straight to Exeggcute. This is not great, but almost always instant swap to Ducklett. This is what I'm talking about. This is the important matchup. You get to Seed Bomb before they get to Aerial Ace, as long as they don't swap exactly right away, which nobody ever does. And then because of that, what happens here is if they throw a Bubble Beam, which they often do because they don't want a Brave Bird, you live, you get to the Seed Bomb, and you actually win shield advantage here. And not only do you win shield advantage, take a look at those shields, my friends. That's a 2-0 shield advantage. And you have a Chinchou there to absorb the Brave Bird. So you got a 2-shield Cottonee, a Chinchou, and it's very hard to lose these games. I'm sure it's still possible, especially against fast move pressure, like I already know they have with the Cottonee. So this game is not over, but having 2 shields really nullifies the effect of anything in the back that isn't also fast move pressure. In this case, kind of very annoying. With the seal, we'll shield everything that they throw here. I'm sure it's an Icy Wind because they want to debuff as well. And I'm going to throw this Seed Bomb right away because I don't want to have to shield again, and I don't want another debuff here. So I should be able to farm down this seal. But I'm in a bit of a tough spot because this Cottonee, I'm debuffed this time, and this Cottonee has a lot more HP. I chicken out. I probably should have gone for the Grass Knot. I think I could have made it. In this case, it's very close, but I do have a shield remaining, and I think if I can get to this Thunderbolt, it should KO. Yeah, they're out of Seed Bomb, so the shield was very necessary. Exeggcute winning that 2 shield advantage on the switch versus a Ducklett is game winning. It's game winning. If it doesn't do that, I get destroyed by the backline there. And this isn't the only time it happened. Hopefully there's some more games in these 2 sets that I played. Chinchou lead. So yeah, we're going to go straight to Exeggcute. And instant Ducklett, right? So same thing as before. So if they're running Bubble Beam, that happens almost every time. If they're running Aerial Ace, they're going to hit you with the Aerial Ace. You only take 1 shield, which is fine. But yeah, either way, you're going to be up a shield. We'll see what happens this time. This time, I'm not even in the red. Exeggcute is in the yellow. These are some... Yeah, undercooked eggs. There's the Aerial Ace. But even then, that's fine. That's more farm for Chinchou. And probably gonna have to tank a Brave Bird here. And in this case, I decide to shield because I know that they don't even really have that good of a Chinchou answer because they had their own Chinchou. So I will keep him alive a little bit. We're gonna throw this big Thunderbolt. And ooh, I don't think I shield this because I think it's just a Bubble Beam. Yeah, they didn't build up. In comes the Cottonee, so once again, you gotta have those diamond hands. Just because someone switches doesn't mean you have to switch right away too. I made those mistakes plenty of times. Everyone makes them. Just throw the Bubble Beam, and now, yeah, look at this damage difference in the Cottonee. And they realize it's over at that point. Yeah, Cottonee, maybe one of the MVPs of this cup. Even versus Ducklett, you have 2 shields. You can probably beat it. Oh, beat flying types. Here's the Bulbasaur lead I was talking about. Go straight into the Cottonee and see what happens. We draw the fire type out, which is not too bad. I thought about double shielding through this Vulpix, but you actually cannot. I tried it. If they throw with good timing, they're going to take you out. But you do get to Grass Knot here. So Cottonee can actually take shield advantage back from Vulpix. Very interesting. Fortunately, by trading that shield, this Vulpix has a boatload of energy. You're going to have to soak it up with the Chinchou. And honestly, I don't think Chinchou's surviving this. Shadow Vulpix does a ton of damage. If it can ever get a good matchup, it's just going to be able to take out whatever. So in this case, yeah, this is going to hurt. Doesn't quite take out the Chinchou. And I'm just spamming that switch button so I can switch to Exeggcute. I have Bubble Beam stored for later if I need it, but I know this Exeggcute can absolutely dominate this Bulbasaur. It just needs to beat whatever else is in the back up a shield. They get to the move. Gonna shield up. Execcute's still very healthy. And it's a Ducklett in the back, so this one's a bit tough too. It really comes down to baits, unfortunately. Gonna throw the Seed Bomb right away, which they let through. And get to another Seed Bomb. Burning the shield would be nice, but it's not like Chinchou has a very powerful charge move here. But Exeggcute is able to take Ducklett down to very low range. They actually throw a move here. And I don't know why I didn't click my Bubble Beam. But I go down to the 1 damage through the shield. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, that's a bad loss. That's player error. Player error right there. So if you're playing, maybe you don't make that mistake. You can win another game too. Another instant Ducklett swap. So we'll see what happens here. There's a lot of them. I think every team pretty much has a Ducklett at this point. So you need to know what to do versus this Pokemon in all situations. They'll all shield the first move. You don't need to go for that Ancient Power. No shield this one. And it's a Bubble Beam, which means Execcute's gonna be able to force another shield if they want to keep switch. But the other option is they can just let the Ducklett go down. And now you've taken the switch and shield advantage here. Does that mean the game is over? No, it doesn't mean the game is over yet. But it sure feels like it. So yeah, Chikorita versus Cottonee. You've seen this matchup before. You can just shield if you have 2 shields remaining to keep a little bit healthy. I like to keep both parts of my core a little healthy when I have both alive and they just have one unknown Pokemon in the back. Because ideally, Chinchou and Cottonee should be able to take out both of them. Or take out any Pokemon combined, right? And it is a Wooper. So I decided to swap in to my Chinchou right away. I want to get the Bubble Beams off, right? When it's their last Pokemon, this is when it's most valuable to get the debuffs off. Because these debuffs last forever. And this is a bad matchup, right? Wooper is a ground type, double resists, or Wooper itself single resists ground, double resists electric. Wooper single resists electric. So the Thunderbolts, the Sparks, they don't do anything. It's all about the Bubble Beam debuff. It's all about chipping this guy down. You don't want him to get too much farm at the end. And he will have to throw unless he wants a shield here. Which he doesn't, I guess. Chinchou is fine going down. Because Cottonee will very easily be able to clean this up. And they're fighting to the end. I don't know why I shield here. I was maybe scared it had Ice Beam, but I think that's Barboach, not Wooper. And no shield, so you can see how much damage a Body Slam does after debuffed. This game was not that close. There's a lot more Body Slams than Cottonee could take at that point. Yeah, just a little lesson in making sure you're using your debuffs properly there in that one. I'm still upset about that loss that I had like a couple minutes ago. Barboach lead, so this is pretty bad. I'm gonna go straight into the Exeggcute here. And in comes Darumaka. This is not a Pokemon I've seen before. I'm only going to get to 1 move, so you might as well throw the Ancient Power at this point. This thing is very squishy and deals a ton of damage. But Chinchou should be able to take it down. And as long as it's not there for the Cottonee now, it's looking not too bad for the team. I'm going to no-shield this. It is a Flame Charge. I think that's pretty much the MO of this Pokemon. And now I do have a shield advantage for Cottonee, but it's likely if they had 1 fire type in the back, they might have another. Barboach comes back in, and I'm essentially just trying to stall the clock. Thunderbolt will deal a ton of damage, and it didn't stall the clock nearly as much as I hoped. But I am able to catch what is hopefully not an Ice Beam. Actually, no, I do shield. I must have swapped slowly. In comes the Cottonee. And we're just playing Cottonee Wars here. Oh, do I throw this game too? Yeah, I throw the Seed Bomb here. And of course they shield. And we both go down, but unfortunately we do have, yeah, Chinchou versus Barboach in the back. And yeah, I didn't wait the timer long enough. So my Chinchou had to suffer earlier. Not going to be able to get to its moves. Unfortunate, but you lose some, you win some sometimes. And it's still a positive set. I don't think I had a negative set with this team either. Felt very strong. Honestly, would recommend this team for sure, especially if you're a person who doesn't want to build Ducklett or doesn't want to play the meta or like the main meta for some reason. Chinchou and Cottonee are obviously very meta. But Exeggcute, very, very fun to play. And of course, I could not be doing this. I could not be making these videos, making these teams without my Patreon supporters. Thank you so much for your support. Appreciate it. One of you. And for everyone else, so much for watching.